Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital. Week 1 matchup that was pretty crazy towards the end of the game. Maddy Glab here with Bills great Fred Jackson. The Bills scored 17 unanswered points. What was the difference there in the second half?
You know what? It was a lot of fun to watch, but I think the biggest difference was taking some of that pressure off of Josh, getting some running game going. I think when you do that, it allows him to be himself, create some plays and actually create some plays with his feet as well.
We saw a little bit more involvement in the run game in the second half. That had to be due to some second half adjustments coming out of the locker room there. Head coach Sean McDermott had some thoughts after the game. This is what he had to say.
What a blessing, huh? What a blessing, man. A group of men and women in that locker room. I just want to get that out, man. I'll tell you what, I'm so proud of that group. On the road, in the division, down like we were. Momentum certainly not in our favor for most of the game, and just what a blessing to be a part of that group in there. So with that, we'll open up to your questions.
Sean, the resilience of Josh Allen after that first half to do what he did in the second half, what was your thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, a young player coming in and keeping his poise, being mentally tough, again, on the road, tough environment. I want to give our fans a shout-out while I'm thinking of the fans. It's, great to have the Buffalo Bills represented the way we did in this game here over in New York City. So appreciate all the fans showing up, supporting us. It goes a long way. It means a lot to the team. But going back to your question, Vic, just, Josh keeping his poise. I thought the coaches did a really good job of keeping their poise, understanding the situation we were in, and then the players executed at a real high level. And early in the game, we shot ourselves in the foot with a couple costly penalties that took us out of points, and then the ball turning the ball over 4 times in the first half. So, but a lot to learn, a lot of work yet to do, and that'll be the message as we continue to go forward and work here.
You have asked often teams overcome 4 turnovers and a safety and win a game. I mean, talk about the play of your defense.
Yeah, great job. It was a great job by the entire team, really. I mean, special teams chipped into that if I could, and thought the kicking game was good for us today, and defense just, the staff put a good game plan together, and then the players executed, just, stopping the run, and looked like we had a chance to get Darnold a couple times. He got out. He's a good player. So give credit where credit's due, but overall, good effort.
The thinking behind, I think in the first quarter, there were 18 called passes. The last play of the quarter was a run. What was the thinking going into it, doing it that way? Pretty much empty backfields, and you were in attack mode the whole first quarter. What was the thought of that?
Just something we felt like we wanted to do to come out and get into a rhythm more than anything. Nothing fancy, really.
What kind of message do you deliver to a team at halftime when you're seeing, obviously the score nothing's out of hand and your defense is keeping you in it, but just the struggles of the quarterback, the offense in general, what was your theme?
Yeah, no, I think, look, it's hard to win in this league, and you go into some tough environments, and we expected a 12-round fight, really. This is they're a good football team and well-coached team, good players. With C.J. Mosley, Le'Veon Bell, you guys know. And so, we expected this type of game, and I thought our guys kept their composure and put a good effort together in that second half. And I think the guys felt good at halftime. I think they did, as much as we, had some mistakes in the first half with the turnovers and penalties. I thought the guys felt like their morale was up, and at least I felt that in the locker room. And we know if we came out in the second half and got to cover the kickoff, had a good stop, that we'd be right in the game, which we were.
What about Devin Singletary seemed to bring a little juice there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Did you sense that down on the sideline?
I did. Yeah, Josh. It was good to get him in the mix there, and a lot of our young guys, I thought, stepped in and did some good things, which is good to see early in the season. Wasn't too big for him, which is great. Now we're just continuing to grow, and I know some of these guys were a little nervous probably for their first game as in their NFL careers, but now they've got it under their belt, so good stuff.
John Brown, he showed up early and he showed up late. Is that kind of what you were hoping to get out of him when you acquired him in the spring?
Yeah, I really appreciate his unselfish approach. He never, the young man never wavers. He's extremely resilient. He's an extremely team-first guy, just happy that he was able to make a big-time play for us. But you look at the blocking on the play, you look at what Josh was able to do. It's again a team effort through and through, and we've got to continue to build and continue to grow. And real proud of Josh. I'm real proud of Josh and John.
How satisfying is it, do you think, for Josh, given the start he had, clearly it was a bad start, to have done what he did in the fourth quarter, moving forward from a confidence perspective, Sean? What do you think that does for him?
Yeah, I think, you always want to be able to say you've done it one time, right? To bring a team back, not only at home, but also on the road, a division opponent. And I think that gives, that's a resume builder, if you will, right? So I think to be able to look at yourself and say, I brought a team back from behind on the road, yeah, that's good stuff. And he was very composed. He knew the situation, knew if he needed to hurry us up or slow us down, or if we were going to go for it on fourth down, if we weren't, what he could do on third down, on the previous third. So it was just well managed, I thought, overall. And to me, a lot of it goes back to how we practice. It really
How
does.
much of a difference from, just to follow up on Josh, from his rookie year? How much progress did you sense in him in those situations?
Yeah, a significant amount. I really did. I sensed a significant amount in our whole team. To your question there, I did. And this is a tough place to play. And again, against a good team, hostile environment. We weren't getting a whole lot of support right there in some of those moments. So they made it tough on us. But we didn't expect it to be honestly any different. Just appreciate the mental toughness of our football team.
Darnold got away from you a few times, but at the end of the day here, it's 4 sacks, I think 10 quarterback hits, 4 or 5 batted passes, just the job in that front area, even with your DBs who got up close too.
Yeah, it starts up front. I talk about that. We talk about that a lot, Brandon and myself. And, so line of scrimmage-wise, that's one of the things I try and answer after every game or during the game, quite honestly at times, is are we winning the line of scrimmage battle? Are we winning it up front? That's where the game starts. So I was we got to look at the film, but overall I felt good about the way the defensive line applied pressure. But we'll go back. We got a lot of work to do. We really do.
And Coach, just the thinking behind rotating Inseki and at right tackle, I think it was every third series today.
Yeah, that was planned. We had planned, like I said, during the week. I wanted to be able to give Cody a little bit of a break in there, and just to take a look at things, talk to him on the sideline, give him a chance to watch it. So that was scripted out. Wasn't what Cody did or didn't do. I thought, in fact, he played well at times in there. So, but good to have guys that can step in and play, and guys that maybe not, that weren't the starters that were prepared to play. And I think that goes a long way in terms of winning games as well. So,
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Josh Allen will be in here as well, just Josh Allen.
Coach McDermott talking about the resiliency of his team. Josh Allen, 4 turnovers in that first half to come back in the second half and completely change the game. How did you see the resiliency of the second-year quarterback as well as his new parts around him on offense?
That's just it. When you see all the turnovers and things like that going on, it's easy to go in the tank. It's easy for you to throw a pick and it get returned for a touchdown and just feel like you can't do anything right. And he didn't do that. He came out, he kept fighting. When they got out on the field, he was doing everything he could to make plays, and everybody around him was responding to that. That's what you like to see from your second-year quarterback, somebody that's going to respond to adversity, and he did that, and they were able to get the win today.
What about the offensive line? They went up against a tough defense and a Greg Williams defense that likes to rush at all directions, and we saw that many times. How do you think they held up for Josh Allen, and how did Josh Allen do flushing out of the pocket and making decisions?
It's going to be one of the toughest tests that they face all year. Greg Williams and his defense was one that I did not like to play, against a lot. And for the guys that come out, the young guys, for Josh Allen to see some of the blitzes that are coming and being able to change the plays at the line, it just shows you the growth that he's made. And it's a lot of fun to be able to see that, watch him grow up in front of us, so to speak. So as long as he continues to progress like that, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We looked at each other a lot and said the defense is saving this game right now. How did the defense do? They gave up 68 rushing yards. Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell, they didn't look like superstars in today's game thanks to the Bills' defense. How did they hold up?
Oh man, they just picked up where they left off last year. You know, they were a lot of fun to watch last year in the plays they were making, keeping them in games. Without them, you know, they don't win this game because it's hard to win games when you create when you have 4 turnovers in the first half, and that's exactly what happened. But the defense came out, kept battling, kept them in the game. They didn't score any points until the third quarter, I believe. So as long as they keep playing like that, they're going to have a chance to win a lot of games this year.
The quarterback who's resilient in this game, Josh Allen, is at the podium.
How's it going, everybody?
So Josh, just obviously two different halves for you. First is what was the thinking you had going in the locker room after really a lot of the problems that you had in the first?
Yeah, we were trying to stay calm there. We understood that, you know, sometimes football happens. A couple of things happened that didn't go our way, you know, and we understood that as long as we need to take care of what we need to take care of, I think we were going to have success because we were moving the ball well. And, you know, I put the ball in a couple spots where it shouldn't have been. You know, we got lucky with some, and some we didn't, you know, went the other way. So that's the football part. But, you know, we tried to keep our composure there. Our defense was playing fantastic, and we knew that we were going to have a shot in the second half.
And then with 5:55, you know, you take over, you lead that winning drive. Can you walk us through kind of your mindset and how it all unfolded there?
Yeah, I was just trying to stay as calm as possible. I knew the situation and the task at hand. This is something that, you know, we practice all the time. Coach McDermott does a great job with situational football. We've probably had that situation, you know, a handful of times in practice. So just trying to stay calm out there, trust my eyes. You know, if I see what coverage, trust it and go with it. And, you know, I settled in really in the fourth quarter. I felt like I just kind of calmed down. I was letting things come to me instead of trying to force things.
When you've had a day where there's been turnovers and it's late in the game and you get it to John Brown, I mean, that's a sort of contested pass and you got it, you trusted him. Take us through what you're thinking. You block out everything that's happened to that point, just focus on that?
Well, if I recall correctly, it was third down there. I knew the play we had was a shot play, and I saw post high. You know, John was on, I think it was 27, and, you know, I trusted him to go make a play. It was a little stutter route, basically. You know, I gave him a chance, and he made the play, and, you know, that's why we brought him here. You know, and I'm just glad that the team was able to be resilient enough to kind of overcome some of the situations that we did. I'm just proud of this team.
Could you talk about that process a little bit more, you know, with the struggles and the 4 turnovers in the first half, that sort of thing, and maybe what were the reasons behind that? Is that an early season thing? What are the reasons behind it, and how did you get that corrected?
Yeah, I was careless with the ball and the fumble. You know, a little low on the pass to call. I got to pick that up. You know, one, their guy made a good play. They get paid on defense too. And then the fumble with Mitch, just one of those things that they were really loud. The stadium was really loud, and you know, it was just kind of a miscommunication deal. But you know, that's something I got to clean up, and we're going to work on that. But we sat in the locker room thinking this is the worst that it could have gone, and we were sitting there down 6 points. So we understood that we still have a shot in this game. Like, nothing's going to be too crazy to overcome. We're down 1 score. When they got up to 16, we were down 2 scores. So that's kind of the process that we had. Everybody kind of stayed cool and calm. We got some real football players, some real professional football players on this team on the sideline that just kind of kept everything cool.
For you, what does a rebound like today mean for the whole growth scale and development scale, your confidence?
Well, it's still just learning from different situations. You know, every game's going to present a different challenge, and to kind of see what they were doing in the first half, make some adjustments, and then in the second half, just kind of calming down and trusting things around me, trusting the 5 guys in front, and just kind of taking the shorter passes that kind of showed up right away, letting our guys make some plays. And then Motor comes in, he has some really good runs, made a couple really good catches, provided a little spark for us there too.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about Devin? I mean, he seemed to bring some juice to the offense in the fourth quarter. Like, I think he busted off a couple 20-yard runs.
Yeah, and one was an unbelievable cut. You know, he was tucked inside, and he was able to get outside. I don't know how he did it, but that's just the kind of thing that he brings to the table. He's very elusive, very slippery. He's tough to tackle. You know, glad he was on our team tonight, and, you know, going to be happy with the process and the progress that he makes going forward here.
I know John early and you found John late for a big play. You really kind of had to hang in the pocket there on that throw to John late for the touchdown. Can you just kind of walk us through that one and just what John brought to the passing game?
Yeah, again, so we had that little, whatever route you want to call it, outside. I saw post high. Their safeties are pretty aggressive, so I was going to try to keep my eyes in the middle, maybe look right a little bit just to try to keep him off, you know, John's tail. Had to stay in there a little longer, a couple guys in the face there, but, you know, John made a heck of a play.
You know your defense is strong or a strength or the strength of this team, but what's your level of appreciation for it today, especially in the first half?
You know, I don't think many teams can, turn the ball over 4 times in the first half and be down 6-0. Speaks volumes about who they are, what character they have, how they're coached. So, top down, this is a team win. It took them and it took us and it took the phase of special teams there at the end too. So, there's a lot of things to learn from, and that's the main point I think that we're trying to get to the guys right now is, this isn't what we want to do every week. We got to make sure that we're taking care of the football, myself included, especially me. So as we're going forward, we'll learn from this game and turn our focus towards the Giants.
Josh, last time you played the Jets, it was you texting Sam, and that was a dime after the game. How did it feel to kind of flip the script this time around?
I really don't like to think of it that way. It was a team that we got to beat. It's a division game. I really don't think of it, just going against Sam. So he's a heck of a football player. They're going to be in good hands here for a long time. That's kind of our thought process is we want to be playing each other for a long time. So we're going to set out to do that.
Any jersey swap or a text after the game from him this time?
We'll see. I know I was kind of in the same situation last year as he was this year, and I just said we'll do it another day. So yeah.
I'm not sure many people would have envisioned this offense coming out the first quarter just throwing the ball all over the field. How fun is that to be able to kind of do that and have that trust from Brian Dable now that you're in your second year that, hey, if we're going to throw it to win it, he's going to let you drop back for the first 15 plays?
Yeah, that's kind of what we planned on doing. We were trying to see if they were going to switch up what they were going to do, but we had, some different guys in and just try to force their hand. We're just trying to take what they give us. And we started off really hot, and we got down there moving the ball really well. I lose the ball on a fumble there, and it's something that's inexcusable. I can't do that there. We've got to have points on that drive. So it was really a fast start, but no points to show for it. So that's something I got to be better on.
Josh, did you notice anything different from the Jets defensively after Mosley went out? I mean, he's their chief play caller there. Just curious if they kind of got a little crossed up.
57's a heck of a player. He does a lot of things for that defense, and as far as alignment and setting the tone and being that big hitter guy. So when he went out, it was kind of a game changer. Just as far as they didn't have somebody that was that vocal in the middle of the field that was able to make all their calls and all their checks. So I hope he's okay. I don't know really what happened, but he's a heck of a player. So.
Josh, I know you talked about having a lot to clean up, obviously, from an X's and O's standpoint. But as a leader on this team, what does a win like this do at this stage moving forward?
It does a lot. It just kind of implements some confidence in both sides of the ball. When we're called on to do our job, we're going to go out there, we're going to execute. And same for the defense. Obviously we wish it was different circumstances in the first half, but nobody on our team flinched. We tried to be as calm as possible, and that's what we did. We came out and understood that the first half is not who we were, and just kind of developed a game plan in the second half, and we found a way to win. Thank you, guys.
Allen was 24 of 37, 254 yards for the quarterback, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. They came out of the gates and they were passing the ball. He completed 5 of his first 5 throws. How have you seen this quarterback mature and the offense mature in year 2 under Josh Allen?
Yeah, I think that's the number one point that was kind of hit on is they have a lot of faith in him now. When you come out in your first 15 plays, 11 of them, I believe, are passes. So that's putting a lot of faith in somebody. And they know what they have in him now. He's been in the offense for a year. So one of the things they want to do is let it go through him. And that's what they tried to establish early. And it was fun to watch him out there in control of the game, making checks at the line, really growing up, like I said, in front of us. And it's going to be fun to see what he does this year.
John Brown, 7 catches, 123 yards, a touchdown for him. What do you see about some of the pieces that Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott have strategically placed around Josh Allen? You
know what? They're doing whatever they can to help him. And when you add guys like Brown and Beasley and Singletary in the draft, it makes it a lot easier for a quarterback. And, he had some fun weapons to be able to go to towards the end of the game. And if those guys continue to produce like that, you can tell early in the game he was really comfortable going to Cole. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to get comfortable, get in a rhythm, and you can see this is what they were trying to do. And if they continue to develop that type of chemistry and you have a guy like John Brown that you can throw it up 70 yards later in the game. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what those guys do this year.
We have a lot of comments from this game. We're going to go to the board and see what some of our fans have to say after that 17-16 win. Jeffrey Jobs, can I breathe now? I think we were feeling the same exact way. Couldn't really believe how this game ended. See if we have any more coming in. That's all for now. I mean, it was a thriller.
Yeah, it was a thriller. It was a lot of fun to watch, and Josh hit on it too. You know, after the first half, you go in, you're down 6 points. You have 4 turnovers the game didn't go the way you wanted to, but you know, you continue to bite or continue to battle and come out and fight.
We have some highlights from this game, so let's go to the highlights and rehash what happened today. Josh Allen making his first opening day start. First quarter, Allen to Cole Beasley. Off his hand, C.J. Mosley grabs it and takes it in for the pick 6.
Yeah, it's just a throw he wishes he had back. And then you see right here, you know, the safety, you know, again, things just not going the way that they wanted to go.
Yeah, not going the way that they wanted to go for the Bills. All right, Sam Darnold here with the pass, and it's a touchdown over to the man, Lev Bell himself. He had a pretty good game there.
He did. He showed up, and he said he wanted to get out and show that he had no rust and continue to play this game.
All right, the first touchdown for the Bills, it's Allen himself taking it in. He had a little happy feet on that play. Could have gotten in there a little bit sooner.
He did, and he finished the play, and then he was able to come back and make a throw like this to John Brown in the game. So.
A great touchdown to end that game, 17-16, 1:15. The clock is ticking down. Way to go, defense, on this game.
Just a lot of fun to watch. Defense has always played well under McDermott, and it looks like they're going to continue to do so.
24 of 37 for Allen. He completed almost 65% of his passes. So we can see he obviously learned some things in this game from the first half to the second half.
Yeah, and I think the number one thing is just being resilient.
Jerry Hughes, he is one of the guys who had a sack today for the Bills. He's in the locker room with his thoughts after the game.
We had a good time. You know, our back seven did a tremendous job of making him double clutch the ball, really go through his reading as far as going through his different wide outs. So it gave us some time to, you know, get back there, create some havoc, and, you know, just try to make plays.
Is it a type of game where you just sort of, the pass rush just sort of slowly builds confidence? Like, you start to get home and it just seems like everybody's like almost taking their turn.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's week one, so we're still getting used to playing a full game. I think we went out there, we knew it was going to be a 4-quarter bar fight, and we came prepared. I think, you know, you just tip your hat to the Jets. They played tremendous football. We made a couple of plays on our end. And, you know, our young guys stepped up for us, and it was fun.
Ed, you know, might not get one of those sacks on the stat sheet, but at the least, it looked like he should get a couple of assists with the way that he was able to push the pocket on the interior. What did you see from him, and what kind of an impact did that have, you know, that interior push from him?
Just him being resilient for all 4 quarters, you know, understanding, because we were talking to him throughout the week that, you know, it's a 4-quarter ball game. No one gives up at halftime. They come out with a new game plan, and, you know, he understood that. For him to be a rookie and to understand that and to keep coming after with different moves, keep trying to set guys up, you know, that's him being a pro. So we're just going to keep working with that and just try to build off of it.
How much of an emphasis was it to get hands up and possibly knock passes down if you couldn't get all the way to Darnold?
Towards the end of the game, especially on that last drive, it was huge. We knew with 9 seconds left there wasn't going to be much of a down-the-field threat, so it's just really us trying to bat the ball down, trying to just do what we can just to kind of tip the ball up and just end the game.
And the ability to help the whole team overcome 4 turnovers from the offense in the first half, this really did seem like a team victory.
Absolutely. You know, our coach has been talking to us all spring, and especially during training camp, about being mentally tough, mentally strong, and I think we went out there and we displayed that. You know, we talked about it at halftime, this being a 4-quarter ball game. We know the Jets, we know that we're going to get it for 4 quarters, especially this being a division game, and so we went out there and we just tried to execute. You know, Jets played well. We understood that we're going to make some mistakes, don't focus on it. I think that was the one thing Coach really emphasized, and I think it helped a lot of guys. You know, a mistake happens, that's part of the game. Push on and just move forward.
It's one thing to say that. How gratifying is it to actually see it happen and see it result in a win?
Oh, man, it was great. I mean, you saw a lot of young guys grow up fast just throughout the entire duration of the game. Those guys are growing up. There weren't any heads down. The Jets had finally scored their first touchdown in the 3rd quarter, and, you know, guys were amped up. Guys knew that our backs were now against the wall, so we got to come out swinging, and I like the result.
Jerry Hughes saying this team is mentally tough after that one, 4 turnovers, but they were still able to get the job done. So what does this team learn off of this week 1 performance?
I think the number one thing you learn is that it's going to take 4 quarters, you know, and you're going to play teams that are going to come out and they're going to hit you in the mouth and you're going to get put behind the 8 ball. You know, it's just about how you respond to that. And I think you saw all the guys go into the locker room and say, look, we didn't perform the way we wanted to in the first half, and we're still in this thing. So let's go out here, you know, play the way we know we're capable of playing, and we'll get the job done. And if you get all guys working in that same direction, it's hard for you to lose football games when you're still in them.
What positives do you draw from today's game?
Just that the guys stayed in it. Like you said, Coach said they want them to be mentally tough. It's easy to go into the tank, like I said, when you come out and in your first 6 possessions, 4 of them are turnovers. It's easy for guys to just say, you know, this isn't going to go well for us today. And they didn't do that. You know, defense could easily turn on the offense. They didn't do that. They continued to battle and say, these guys are going to get right, so we continue to do our job and let those guys continue to come out and fight, and they'll get things going. And when everybody's on the same page trying to get to one goal, it makes it a lot easier for everybody, and they were fortunate enough to come out with the win today.
It's a week 1 win in the column there. The Bills take down the Jets 17-16. That's going to do it for us. If you want to catch the full version of Bills tonight, we're talking longer highlights, a lot more post-game sound from the locker room and on the podium. Make sure you tune in to MSG at 11:30 tonight. For Fred Jackson, I'm Maddy Glab. Thanks for tuning in.